All right, welcome to next episode of Titan Avenger Gaming in our podcast. We have Ron with us, we have Luke, we have David back with us for the first time in a couple episodes, and we have the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Ross.
Thanks.
What are you, 21 today?
82.
82. Wow, you look good for that. All right, so first off, I want to start off with talking about trading. James Harden just got traded to the Nets in basketball. He combines with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Now, we don't have to just stick with basketball. In the past, even though some people can sign, like LeBron went and signed with the Miami Heat, made the big trio and stuff like that. But about 10, 15 years ago, my friend Kevin and I, we were big Lakers fans. Chris Paul was leaving the Hornets, and he had signed to go join Kobe and Pau Gasol and Derek Fisher and all them with the Lakers. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but he went and signed with them, cleared all the tests that they got to do. They got to go through a physical like they do with every trade. Everything was good, and former commissioner David Stern canceled the trade and said that makes it unfair, that makes them a power team, makes the league not competitive anymore. So trade was canceled. He ended up being traded to the Clippers, and then he's with the Clippers for so many years and there on and so forth. Then a couple years later, you have Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. They all went to the Celtics, signing and trading, and then we've had numerous trades, with I don't remember which all have been trades, but you have the power teams in Golden State with Kevin Durant, which that was just one. Golden State's a different breed because they were actually drafted, except for Durant. But then you had, Westbrook going to Houston trying to make that. So now David Stern is not the commissioner anymore. But how is that fair in any sport? In basketball, it's a little bit easier to make a power team because you have 5 people on the court, where a football team, not the offense doesn't play defense and defense doesn't play offense. And there's a lot more pieces to the puzzle to put together. Like people thought Cleveland Browns were going to be the team last year with Odell and all them going. So what is your thoughts on any kind of trading? Do you think that power teams shouldn't be assembled? Should you think that the new commissioner should step up and kind of veto those trades? Should they make the salary cap different? That way you can't sign 3 big max deals. Like, what is y'all's thoughts on it? Because as a Laker fan, it really hurt that Chris Paul got canceled, and now my team goes several years in a drought until Kobe finally has a couple good years, and then he gets injury plagued. So, Ron, I'm going to start with you.
I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about it because I like basketball, but I understand there's just this big gap difference between every sport there is and basketball. Because basketball is one of the only sports that one person can make a difference in everything that's going on. Like you mentioned, you could take a team, and now I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but you could take a team like Tampa Bay in football, and, just because you give them Tom Brady doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Now, we see how good he is and the weapons he's got around him. But if he didn't have the weapons around him, there's not, that doesn't mean he's going to go to the Super Bowl. Baseball, I'm not a big follower of baseball at the moment, but it's the same way. I don't think one person just directly makes a giant difference. I guess maybe you could argue soccer. In a way, soccer might get you there, but I don't know enough about soccer. But I don't know. I don't know exactly how to feel about it. Like, if there are double standards, then I don't like that at all. like if they're, when double standards happen, I don't like that. I think every team should be able to work fairly, or should be able to work fair across the board. It shouldn't say if you can't look at one here and say no to this one, and then another one here and say yes to this one.
Yeah.
And this might sound a little different, but for the time that we're in right now, I would argue that you probably let these super teams happen, because when you're hurting for a lot of stuff like fan base and whatnot, it's probably good to have these super teams,
Yeah.
because it's going to make people want to watch basketball on television, which is that's going to drive up money,
Well, there's the
as
pros
much
and
money as you
cons.
can.
Either
Yeah.
people are going to say, "Oh, I really want to see Harden back with Durant because they were great in Oklahoma City," or you're going to have the people that say, "I want to see them fail."
Yeah.
So they're going to watch those games for either or. Before I move on to another person, the other night, David and his brother and I, we were talking about the trades, and this is kind of off the subject, but like James Harden, he was like, "Well, I want to go to these teams if I'm traded." Like, for one, as a team, you don't want to trade anybody to your division rival. You just don't, especially if it's going to make them better. But I feel like if this person, like he did, saying, "Well, we're just not a good team," and he's not showing up to practice, and he's just being a turd pretty much to his team, then I feel like, why grant him his wish and send him to Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving? Let's send him, like in football, let's send him to the Jets. Let's send him to the Jaguars. Let's not send him to the Buccaneers like he wants. Let's not send him to the Chiefs like he wants. Like, he's being a turd to us. We're granting him that wish, But anyways, that's a little side subject that David and I had talked about, because we were talking about the trades and stuff the other day. But Luke, what is your opinion or preference just on a trade that can make a super team?
Well, if I go back, all the way back to grade school, just go with me for a minute on this journey. And the one day of the school.
Wait, hold on. Do we need to do like the Wayne's World and go doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo? Do we need to do that? Okay.
But the one time that you bring your basketball to school, and that means that you get to pick first, you're the team captain.
Mm-hmm.
Always go for the power team. I went for some classmates of mine that I knew were going to dominate on the basketball court, because I wanted to be on a winning team. I wanted to be part of that. I can also tell you from the other side of that coin that if you're on the other team that has zero power players because they've all already been traded or taken, you almost don't want to show up. You just don't want to go. You don't want to be a part of that losing team that has really no chance of winning. And like you're saying in basketball, that's pretty easy to do. One person it's a 20% difference in the team.
Mm-hmm.
But in football, I'm one of 22 guys, and I can bust my butt on the field. I can make every tackle that comes my way, and we could still lose. But in basketball, if you're on fire, you're shooting the lights out. Look at Steph Curry, right? He puts up points. It's basically going to be a game winner. So you've got to – I don't know that I like super teams, but if everything is always fair, if that's what we have to go with, then what's the point? Like, what's the point in every team being average?
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of coaches that, especially in basketball, okay, well, if you're just going to go for the power five, then some of these teams pick up a second string for what would be that dominant team. You can really do something with that. With the right coaching, they become a top-notch team. So, yeah, it may not be your division rival, but there's so much talent to go around that even if you pick the top five, the next five are still awesome.
Yeah.
And in football, like when we draft for fantasy football, if you don't get one of the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks, they're in the NFL, but you just can't expect that same level of performance. And I know I'm feeling like my head's going to catch on fire saying this, but you just can't expect the same performance from a Tom Brady as like one of the lower or the last pick quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know. Plus, you never know with injuries. Klay Thompson gets injured and boom, he's out. Doesn't really come back the same as whenever he left. So, things are going to change all the time. And the same thing with fantasy football. You count on, I'm not going to have every single player by the end of the season. Somebody's going to tear an ACL. Somebody's going to sprain an ankle. Somebody's going to get COVID, which is new. I don't think you can make it to where you have to say, no, you can't trade, but this team can. Like, you try to make it as fair as possible. Like with the NFL, the draft picks, you don't get the first draft pick every year. It rotates. So I understand they're trying to make it, but at the same time, trading is part of the game. It's all part of the game.
Yeah.
And I think if you say we're not going to do those kind of power trades, then you lose an aspect of it that the fans really enjoy. Because everybody, like I said, the fans really enjoy getting to be part of that, unstoppable winning team.
All right, David, what's your thoughts?
Man, I agree with Luke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's different from school.
Yeah, I know, right? But like, I don't know. For me, it's about balancing, because like the Western Conference is very stacked because you have LeBron's Lakers, you have Kawhi's Clippers, you have Chris Paul and the Suns, you have all these stacked players from the West, and not many people in the East, except for like Giannis and his Bucks, that need a few more players to make them unstoppable. But to have James Harden added with the Nets and not have Kyrie show up really renders or hinders the Brooklyn Nets to go forward into making
Well, and also
championship.
Kyrie was, what they said was big on telling Durant, hey, come to Brooklyn with me. So now you've come to Brooklyn thinking we're going to join up. And now you're on this hiatus or whatever you're doing and not showing up and things like that. So there's not really that power team like you would think.
I mean, the NBA allows you to speak your mind in the same way with the NFL with their logos and, the whole in racism, social justice, and stuff like that. Their platform is allowing them to talk, but missing games is unexcusable. I mean, I wouldn't expect it if one of our players from the NFL missed games on, social justice things. Like, that would be like, all right, well, you could still talk about it and play football.
Yeah.
Just the same way as you could walk and chew gum. So why isn't Kyrie doing?
Can you?
I mean, yeah, he could walk and chew gum.
Well,
But I understand how Kyrie thinks that his profession is not important as much as the outside noise.
Well, yeah, because you're getting paid to play a sport, and you're playing that sport for the fans. And
you're getting
Stephen,
paid millions of dollars to do
yeah,
it.
and people are paying to see you. And Stephen A. said, if you don't want to play ball, then just retire. I heard him say that the other day. So
I just think that's kind of because you have Steve Nash, who's the first-time coach for the Brooklyn Nets. You're really making it hard for him and the organization to kind of like,
well, yeah, you have a game.
what do we do? Do we trade him, or do we, let him do what he needs to, and then he'll come back?
I was telling Luke this the other night. Bob Sanders. I don't know if anybody remembers Bob Sanders. He was a great safety for the Colts back in the day, especially when Peyton won his Super Bowl there. He spent about 40 or 60% of his time on the injured list. I think he was even injured during that Super Bowl run. But everybody's like, how can you trade him? How can you release him? if you're going 12-4 consistently and your defense is not being affected by him, then we can win without him. Just like Derrick Rose, he was an MVP, but he's spending 80 games not playing.
Ankle injury.
So why are we paying you? We're still competing in the East.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we need you? Like the only way we can do now is if you play, we're gonna go 82-0. That's the only way anything gets better. But Ross, what do you think? What do you think about trading?
I mean, I'm all for it, because I agree with you. Like, it's just part of the game. And let's be real, like, it does not always produce championships.
No. Look at the Heat.
There's
Exactly.
no guarantee.
There's no guarantee you're going to win a championship, even without trading. Okay, like Golden State Warriors in 2015, 2016, stacked as they were, and the record that they had did not win a championship.
Well, and also with them, like here's the only exception to their super team. Before they went 72-10 without Durant.
Mm-hmm.
Without Durant, and then won the championship. But that team was all drafted. So that's
I remember you saying that, and like,
so it's crazy.
And like, and what I mean by that is like, or just going along with what I said, like, just as stacked as you are and as good as you are, it doesn't always produce championships. When LeBron went down to, and I think I mentioned this the last podcast, when LeBron went down to Miami, I mean, they were stacked, man, as stacked as they possibly could be. They took pay cuts to be on that team and still did not win a championship.
Other thought with this, with the pay cut thing.
Look at Tom Brady right now. Tom Brady's one win away from going to the Super Bowl, and he's playing for the fucking Eagles.
Yep.
He's not playing for the Pats anymore. I just read now, and I don't know much about it, but I just read that the Ravens released Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yep.
Look at that. I mean, that doesn't. I don't know. He's not getting traded or anything. I don't know if he's becoming a free agent or what, but I mean, I'm with you. Like, if you're not producing,
another thing, they average 190 yards rushing. They're still doing great, and you have J.K. Dobbins and Lamar Jackson, which is just a superstar running back, pretty much. So you don't need Mark Ingram.
Yeah, no. And that's what I was reading. Is like he wasn't producing. He wasn't producing like he was in the first. How many years he was?
Because when he was with the Saints, he was doing fine.
But it's just like I said. It's just part. Like I said, it's part of the game, man. It's fun. It's what the fans like. It gets the fans involved. It gets them because I've been to a few Memphis Grizzlies games, right? And tickets weren't that much. And you sit in the cheap seats, and you can still watch the game. I mean, we were watching. I think we were watching against Washington, and I think we watched John Wall play, and I think he went off that game. If I can remember, this is a few years ago now, but like when they played the Lakers, like when the Lakers were coming to town, and those tickets were expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody wanted to see LeBron play. You're paying for the name, really, but that's what people want to see. It gets the fans involved. People get excited about it.
Yep.
Like, oh man, like we're getting to watch especially when he went to Miami. We're like, oh man, this thing's gonna be stacked, man. They should be winning championships. Like, people get people excited, gets people involved, wants to watch. Especially like you guys, like when you guys play fantasy football, man, like y'all are really involved in the draft and training. I know that's just fantasy football, air quotes there, but it's the same deal.
Yeah,
it is.
It's just fun, man. It's part of the game. It's part of the game, and it's fun for you guys. It's fun for everybody. Fun to watch it, fun to get involved, fun to talk about it. So I'm all for it, man. I don't care if the team is stacked to the gills. That doesn't mean anything. You could have, like the Golden State Warriors, you have the best record in NBA history, and you can't close it out with a championship. I mean, to me, like,
not to dog on Ryan or anything, but Ryan had a stacked team in fantasy football. I mean, almost the top in most of the positions, and he did a great job managing that team. So props to you, Ryan, on that. And he went 12-3 this season, and it was 12-0. It was a 12-0 run. It was just 3 losses right there in a row at the end that kind of sealed his fate. But like I said, he's got a top team, and you just kind of dread playing, but it makes you also pay more attention to your team.
Yeah.
I know if I'm going up against Ryan, I can't do it with a halfway team. I can't do it.
You can't.
I got to make sure that any gaps in my roster are filled. I got to make sure that everybody's on their A game. I don't have anybody injured that's in my roster because I
also you don't want projected points.
Yeah.
You want, if you're supposed to get 289 and Ron's supposed to get 270, you're thinking, man, I got a 19-point cushion. But you want
like
your team to get 320 because if his team goes over, you've got it covered.
But and a lot of times the projected points end up being like a stacked roster anyway. Like, yeah, it looks good on paper, but in the game, it may not actually perform. And the flip side of this coin
sounds a lot like the real system.
Mm-hmm.
It is, because on the flip side of this, you don't actually have teams that have to trade. So if a team doesn't want the trade option, they don't have to do it. They can stick with what they got. They can manage it. They can coach it up and turn them into champions. But you don't have to accept a trade just because another team wants to.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's move on to the next subject. This probably just be one-liners from everybody. I was watching the Kansas City Cleveland Brown game. Don't know how that game's going to go. You don't know how the play calling is going to go. Mahomes went out with possible concussion, but they might call different plays. He might not gets hurt. But what I'm getting at is Baker Mayfield leads his team down the field, hits Rashard Higgins, run across the field, stretches out for the pylon, gets hit, fumbles the ball in the end zone. It is a touchback. Kansas City gets the ball. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Kansas City went down and kicked the field goal. So instead of possible 7 points, definitely 6 points out. Now, technically, you're down by 10. So if you take away the 3 points that Kansas City had, if everything went the same way the game played out, and you give the 7 points to the Browns win that game. So what I'm fixing to mention is the hit. I think it was Sorensen. He led with his helmet, went down, and I understand it's tough. I hate these rules. I understand targeting. If somebody's legitimately trying to hurt somebody, that's a different story. But he led with his head, hit head to head. Could be, I don't know if Higgins blacked out for a second or whatever, but, he fumbled the ball. But it's legit. That was head to head. But it's like we talked about plays a couple weeks ago, but that play cannot be reviewed. They can look at the review and see if he broke the plane for a touchdown or to see if it was a touchback, if it went out of the back of the end zone, but they can't look at it and go, yep, that's head to head. College, they go over there and look at it and see if they consider it actually targeting call. If it is, the guy's kicked out of the game. If it's not, then it's just blown off, but they go ahead and rule it targeting while they go and look at it. So with something like that could possibly change the fate of a game, which we also talked about that in several of the topics earlier in our podcast, but should that be reviewable? If it's that big of a targeting call that they just missed because, so Ross, what do you think?
No, I think
I know you don't watch NFL as much, but just if it's a targeting call, the announcers see it and you can review anything else, or should it be where somebody can throw a challenge flag? Should that be like a rule that's mixed in with the challenge flags?
Yeah, either way, I think it always needs to be reviewed. I mean, if it's blatant, I mean, I know some of those guys, they're playing football, man. Like, sometimes you just can't help it, when you don't think. I'm just trying to tackle the guy. I'm trying to get the foot, whatever the case may be, but if, like, I guess you're saying if the refs say it's targeting no matter what. Is that what you're saying? In
Well,
NFL?
just like, well, they didn't.
No,
they
right
didn't
now, that's how it is, right?
Yeah.
You can't review it.
Can't review. So if they say, because they call targeting, even if it's not actually targeting, it's still targeting because they called it. Yeah, that needs to be reviewed, no doubt, because like you said, it could change the fate of the game. You know, you taking out one of the best players for leading with his shoulder, and they didn't see that. That's not fair. I mean, plain and simple. You can't. I don't think you should be able to do that. I think they should obviously be. If you can do it in college, you should be able to do it in the NFL. I mean, I don't understand why there's a difference there.
But, you know, it's just, if everything plays out, then Browns win that game. If you give them that and then take away the Chiefs field goal, even if you give them that touchdown, that's still 24-22. But,
Yeah.
David, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. They should be able to either challenge it or review it and overturn it.
Like, or, you know, even the booth, you know, like the booth buzz in and say, hey, we got to look at that.
Yeah. I mean,
because you can always go to the retired NFL referee and say, what do you think about that, John? And then they chime in and say what they thought. And that guy said, that's head to head. You know, he legitimately said that's, you know, targeting or head to head or whatever he called it. David, what do you think?
I think the refs really need to pay attention. I mean, especially with the potential season ender for both teams. As good as the game was, they were down by 5 and they needed to get up there. And I didn't see the hit until I, you know, blew up my phone. Like, what happened? And I seen like the medical doctor on YouTube say that is a clear head-to-head hit that should have been called, and that the refs and the NFL need to change the rules and make it, if they're really concerned about player safety. Like, we can't say this is a hit or head-to-head and this is not. We have to kind of like meet in the middle. Because of course, like, people want to see their teams win, especially as good games.
Well, yeah.
You know, especially playoff games, because this is where it really matters. And so I think the rules are inconsistent. And to not review or challenge that kind of a hit is it's undespicable. It should have been called or reviewed, because again, yes, everybody has said, it changes the fate of the game, and it should have been called.
Yeah.
You know, no matter if he fumbled or his body or the ball crossed pylon, even if it didn't, then he would be down by the 1, and then, you know, you do whatever you can to get the touchdown.
Yeah.
But again, it should have been called.
Luke, your thoughts?
It's strange to me that they're going to double check everything these days. I mean, I understand not doing the instant replay, not doing the check whenever you're talking about years ago when you actually had to buy the film for the cameras that are recording it. I get that. But we're in a digital age, and that stuff is just right at your fingertips. There's no reason to not do it.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing it for every touchdown. You might as well do it for everything, like everybody else has said, when it's a game-changing moment. It doesn't just change the fate, or it doesn't just change that series. It changes the fate of the team that's in it. So if you're gonna look at it, or if you're gonna jinx or change what was probably gonna happen, I think you've got to review it. It's got to be reviewed. My other thing on that is, like, a lot of times, and we've all seen it, and we've talked about this before too, but like if a safety's on a blitz, right? And he comes in and he's going to make a good tackle on the quarterback, a legal tackle on the quarterback, but the quarterback trips over his lineman right at that time, then the safety's already committed to that tackle. Now the angle of the quarterback changed, and the safety didn't account for that because he couldn't. And now he's got a targeting call on him or for helmet-to-helmet contact when that was not his intent at all. So I think that the review has got to look at, okay, was he already in motion? Like there's specific things. I'm not saying you have to review every tackle, but on a moment like that, it's got to be reviewed. And you've got to look at it. Was he already in motion or did he lower his head and begin the tackle?
I mean, it's no better than what the Saints, like their 3 years being in the playoffs with crucial miscalls.
Yeah.
Like that 1 year where they got
pass interference.
Pass interference. It should have been called.
Yeah.
See, and
but it was never called. I mean,
that even led to, pass interference being reviewed for 1 year, and then that was just like thrown to the wayside. But Ryan, before I move on to you, and I don't want everything reviewed because you don't want the game to get slow because everybody when they talk about baseball and stuff, that the amount of action that's in baseball, especially when you're watching on TV, because I prefer going to a baseball game than watching on TV. But when you're talking about like all the action and stuff and, the pitch and then you wait and there's another pitch, I don't want them to constantly stop on the game to review everything. But just like if you, now I don't know if any of the coaches thought, man, that was head to head, wasn't it? I don't know any of that, but it's just like, I feel like if they're replaying this in the NFL officials that are in New York or whatever that review all scoring plays for that matter to make sure they get in, or under 2 minutes, I feel like they should be sitting there and thinking, oh, no, we got to buzz into Kansas City. That was head to head.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, use the Jumbotron. It's recording the game anyway.
Yeah.
And in between the play calls and the next down and the ref setting the ball, they show a replay of what's happening. Why? It doesn't have to take a long time. Like you were saying, Randy, it doesn't have to interrupt the flow of the game. It doesn't take any time to review it.
Yeah.
So it's not that. It's not that they have to study it. Now, if they're looking for where to place the ball, I get it. That takes a minute to look for. But, to see if that was helmet-to-helmet contact, that takes no time at all. They could do it between the ball, the ref resetting the ball. So that can't be their excuse.
Ryan, what about you?
I believe that every major play or major controversial play or flag or major flag should be reviewed in a playoff game no matter what. And it's because it's a playoff game. This is the end of the road for somebody. And there has to be a system in place to, just like looking up at the Jumbotron, there has to be a system in place where you have like the box officials, they're able to look at something and say, okay, even if we didn't throw a flag on this play, maybe we need to review it, or we should definitely review it because there might be something here. Now, are they going to be perfect 100% of the time and get it exactly right? No, that doesn't ever happen with officials of across the board. But it's just, it's got to be reviewed. You have to review that because you're right. There's a lot of people that are now sitting there saying, if this did not happen the way it happened, then the Browns would probably be in the AFC Championship game this coming week.
Because it's like, again, and Ron, you got a coaching mind, and Luke's watched enough football, and Ross played football and watches college football, and David, he watches football too. We all know that now you have a 22-17 lead. You're going to play differently. You want to try to score, or you don't want to score because you have this lead. But if you're down 24-19, you're going to do different play calling.
Yeah.
Like, again, the Patrick Mahomes getting knocked out of the game, that play might not have happened because you're doing a different play style. And so they still might come back and win, but it's, like I said, it changes the whole way. A team being up by 50 is going to play a different style than being down by 50 or being up by 1. So, all right, guys. Pretty much sounds like we were all on the same page with that. So, any topics we want to talk about right now?
Ooh, I got one.
Oh, Ross got one. Let's go.
I don't know if we can talk about it. Has everybody watched WandaVision yet?
Have not, so let's not do that yet.
Dang it.
Can't talk about that one.
Killing us.
You're killing
Let
me.
me just say,
Get on it, man. There's only 2 episodes. They're only 30 minutes apiece.
I
Hey, do you like
understand
the
that.
Dick Van? Do you like the Dick Van Dyke Show?
Well,
Yes.
yeah. I know what the premises and stuff of the 2 episodes is going to be. I actually know the premise of the whole season and what this whole season is going to be about, but like just how my schedule's been this weekend, I just haven't been able to do it.
This really
Let me just
doesn't.
tell you.
This doesn't have anything to do with what the episodes. I guess. Like, I was reading some reviews on it. Like, and this just made me mad because like people are like, "Oh, this show sucks. This is terrible. This is awful."
Oh
It's
yeah,
like-
everybody's wanted it to be like Avengers.
It's like it's been 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I loved it personally.
Okay.
I loved it.
So did I.
I think it's great.
I
it's
only
great so far.
watched about 10 minutes of it, and let me just preface it by saying this. I was also taking care of my kids at the same time. So it did not have my full attention, but like Ross was saying, I had read the reviews on it, and the reviews are terrible. Everybody's dogging the show. They do not care for it, blah, blah, blah. I will tell you, it didn't hold my attention either. Like, I was like, okay. And because I think expectations are high with it being Marvel. And yeah, you're saying there's only 2 episodes, but in The Mandalorian, they had me hooked in the first episode, in the first line that he said. I was like, yep, I'm in.
Well,
And so-
I know.
Marvel, you got to get those expectations are there. You got to capitalize on it. You got to get the fans.
Well, one thing I've read is it's not really about the show. It's about all the Easter eggs that are important features. And I've seen a couple things already, and I'm not going to mention it because Luke said he's seen 10 minutes, and I don't know who else has watched. But I've seen a couple of the Easter eggs that have been talked about that you have to pay attention to the show because it's going to lead on to make sense and stuff like that. So
And I think that's what grabbed.
that's how Marvel is, you know.
That's what grabbed me the most is because like I was like, well, I don't know what's going on because we got Wanda and we've got Vision. Now obviously Vision was killed by Thanos, like and I haven't read just a whole lot into it. I guess I don't know if this precedes or is after the Infinity War or after. I mean, I don't even know, but I'm just like, what's gonna happen? Like, what's the deal with this? Why is it this way? And it's like 2 episodes. I'm like, I don't got a clue what's going on right now, but I love it because I know something's gonna give, and I'm ready to see that. And and I just love Marvel. We all do. We love the movies. We love, we're excited about this phase 4 of it and everything that's coming in the next few years. So
Well, this is supposed to take place after the events of Endgame.
okay, so there you go. And I kind of figured it did, but I just wasn't 100% sure.
Because that's what a lot of people are confused about. Like, well, how's Vision alive? And if anybody is listening to this and hasn't seen Endgame, then obviously you're not a Marvel or comic book fan or a movie fan. And I'm sorry that you waited a couple years before you decided to watch it. But
You missed it.
yes.
Yeah.
But Marvel has Easter eggs in all their stuff. Like Thanos made like things about him were brought up in Guardians of the Galaxy. Gamora talked about him and stuff. And then he's in the movie several times later. Then he's in the after scenes of some of the movies, and and then you see like in Thor's War Room, like you see the Infinity Gauntlet, and you see things like that all throughout Marvel, and that's just how they are to set things up.
I'm watching Avengers right now, or I've been rewatching in a timeline order,
We've been doing that too.
which I'm kind of upset because Hulk is not in there, and we'll get on that later. But anyway, he's not in the timeline order that's on Disney Plus. However, there's that Easter egg where Hulk says, what does he want? What does Fury want me to do? Swallow it?
Yeah.
And he's talking about when the Flurkin swallowed it the first time.
Yeah. And I really think they really think about, oh, we plan on making this movie 4 years from now. We need to do a reference to that. Like in one of the Iron Mans or Avengers, they were showing a map of the Earth, and there's a spot in Africa, and that was a reference to Wakanda. Well, Black Panther hasn't even been filmed yet, so it's just things like that. But like Phil Coulson, if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's after Avengers. He died, which they explain it through the series how he came back to life, but he came back to life, and just like the comic books, how many times have superheroes been killed off and then like they still make comics,
Yeah.
So
anyway, yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
But I plan on watching it through my busy week, getting 2 episodes done and catching up. So we can do that, or we can have a special podcast on just WandaVision. Anything else? Ron, do you have anything for us tonight?
Well, I guess the only thing I could say about WandaVision, and this is the reviews that I've read, is that you should, like, it picks up a lot of steam after the 3rd episode. Well, when the 3rd episode, most reviewers have only been given the first 3 episodes. So,
yeah.
But
like a preview.
So like the first 2 episodes, they do this, it gives you tidbits of information, which you're going to really get at the very end of the episode, to be honest with you. If you like old sitcoms like Bewitched or the Dick Van Dyke Show, you're going to like this show. Like, I like those old sitcoms. So I was able to sit there and laugh because I understood the cheesy jokes and the way they were just kind of operating and whatnot. But there are points in the episode where it stops being a sitcom for a moment and it becomes very dark. I mean, and by dark, I mean it just becomes a drama, a sci-fi drama, and you're going, okay, what's going on? But it doesn't last very long. And like I said, the reviews that I've seen have said that the reviewers have they have got the 3rd episode before everybody else has. So when that 3rd episode comes out, which will be the 2nd week of the series this week, it's supposed to really like push off from there. I also believe that the first 6 episodes, there's 9 episodes of the series, and I think the first 6 episodes are all done in sitcom style, where the last 3 will be more, that will be, well, my understanding, that will be not sitcom. That will be something else.
And I read this.
That'll be its own thing.
And I read this, I think a month ago when it was talking about, like, they didn't really do any spoilers. It was kind of more or less like you just need to pay attention to the show kind of thing with the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
But they talked about there was going to be little things in there, kind of like you're talking about, like you're watching I Love Lucy show or a Bewitched show. Like, you need to pay attention to the stuff, kind of like Truman Show. So in the movie Truman Show, she would all of a sudden sit there and just grab the things like, have you ever loved this coffee? And he was like, who are you talking to? That's kind of how this is. You've got to pay attention to everything that's going on, which might lead to that 7th episode, like you're talking about. Because then they said there's a reason why that it's set up into like an old-timey 50s TV show style, which they didn't release any spoilers, so I don't know. So it's made me intrigued to kind of watch and see what that's about. Like, it's going to make me want to watch it 2 or 3 times, especially before the next season comes out, or if I watch, let's say, episode 7, and I'm like, what just happened? I'm going to have to go back and probably watch the first 6 just to see if I can catch those clues.
Everybody make sure you watch it, and then we can talk about it next podcast.
Okay. I'll do that. Yeah, I've been slipping. I was going to watch it, and then Kelsey wants to watch it too, which I understand it's Marvel. She wants to watch everything Marvel, so I can't watch it without her too. I forgot that she had to work today. So, because that was another thing. I was like, well, I'm going to watch it. But nope, couldn't watch it today. All right. Any other topics for, it can be anything.
So, Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Mm-hmm.
Mason went ahead and beat it. He's got it on lock, 100% done, which is great because it was my account, so it looks like I did it, which is and I helped him with the last few things. But if you're playing Spider-Man, the series that came out on PS4,
mm-hmm.
if you took away Miles's ability to electronically touch everything, it's the same game.
Yeah.
Storyline and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not knocking it because I've enjoyed the crap out of both of them. But Miles Morales just has the Venom strikes and Venom punch and stuff like that. But,
yeah, I really liked both of them, and I did like, because I expected for some reason the gameplay, like I felt like how he swung was going to be different, or how he did some of his moves. But I liked it that everything was the same R1, everything was the same X, and like I've liked it. Oh, did we lose Luke?
Yeah, he just froze.
Yeah, we lost Luke.
Oh man.
Well, maybe he'll join back.
Yeah.
But no, I liked it. Ron, you had Spider-Man, didn't you?
Yeah, I've played it and beat it.
Do you plan on getting Miles Morales?
Probably.
Well, won't tell you anything with the storyline and stuff.
basic mechanic.
Oh, he's almost back.
Got that Windstream internet.
Yep.
Okay, now he's back.
I don't know what went on.
Well,
I was
you were
showing everything. Everybody was like, "Hey, we lost Luke," and I was like, "No, I'm still here, guys." All of a sudden, y'all.
Luke,
I have to again.
Oh, you're doing it again.
Yeah. That's gotta be frustrating.
Ryan, when's your PS5 supposed to come in?
At the end of January.
That's not too far.
No.
Yeah, no, it's like 2 weeks away.
Well, what's the first game you plan on playing?
I have no idea yet. I haven't bought any games for it, and I'm going to wait because I mean they're all online games. I mean they're not all. They're all digital games, so it's just gonna be whatever I decide to buy. I don't know if I'm gonna buy Call of Duty. I'm probably gonna wait to get until they. Well, I'm gonna have to wait until they drop Cyberpunk back on the PS5 store.
Oh God!
Hopefully, all the bugs and graphics are fixed out of that.
Guys, I played Fallout and Skyrim growing
That's
up.
what you won't play. Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, they won't let me. But it's like, the people out there like it's too buggy. It's like, dude, if you haven't played Bethesda, that's like their thing. I'm okay with that.
You ever been to Walmart and you get the cart that has like one wheel left?
Yeah.
Buggy this thing is gonna be.
But I'm just gonna have to wait patiently for them to fix it and play that game. But I don't know.
You know why it's called 2077? Because that's what year it's gonna be ready.
Wait. That's only let's see, that's only 50 years from now. Or not 50, 56 years from now. Yeah. I'll still probably be around.
That'll be the PlayStation 16.
Yeah, Kaylee for my birthday today, she made up coupons, and one of them was for a new video game. And so I was like, there's not really. I'm like just dying to play right now.
I know.
Too, but I know what I want when it comes out. I just don't remember. I just know exactly. It's the next God of War game when that comes out. That's going to be the coupon.
Is there a buy one get one that I can cash in with it, or
you have to ask? You can text her and ask her about that.
You need to go ahead and use that coupon, because if it comes out around your next birthday, then you can be like, I want this for my birthday. So you get a twofer.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to come out this year, but I don't. I haven't looked it up in a while.
Well,
See when
see,
they-
that was
but
like-
you got anniversary now coming up. You got
Yeah.
Christmas. You got there's plenty of other times. Go ahead and get that game now. And
Her
if you
birthday's coming up too, so I'm like,
Man,
hey, can I get this for
do
your birthday?
Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a pretty good one.
Well, that was like for Christmas. Kelsey had asked me, "Is there any games that you want?" And I was like, "I don't think there's any." I was like, "My Spider-Man came with the PlayStation, and I haven't played Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed yet.
Yeah. I still need to finish Valhalla.
I'm still on hour 3.
Well, you've only got like 45 more to go then.
Yep. But I've got, between that and my Madden franchise and Call of Duty, I got more time because Spider-Man's done and Watch Dogs is done.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to move on to next once I get done with The Last of Us, too.
So on the side,
Yeah.
like I love Titanfall, came out for Xbox. Titanfall 2 came out on both consoles. Is there any word on a Titanfall 3?
I haven't heard.
I need to
I
look
haven't
into
seen
that.
anything.
Maybe I'll do that for the next podcast. Come back and give you a report on what I find for Titanfall 3. That's a great game too.
Yeah. I know we've talked about this before, but like, I guess we're all just going to ride out Call of Duty Modern Warfare until the next one comes out. Because I don't have any intentions of getting Cold War
Yeah.
at this point.
I thought about it, but then
Then you're like, what would
the
Randy
only two
do?
things, I would probably play is like zombies and the campaign. That's like if I got the game, but
Yeah.
other than that, I've heard mixed reviews on multiplayer. It's bad. The entire game is bad. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I mean, I don't know. It's the same way that Modern Warfare came out. Yeah, not many people liked it. Other people did. I mean, it comes with, when in the midst of a pandemic, you're having to rush deadlines. And so there's going to be the point where there's glitches, patches that need to be fixed.
Cyberpunk.
So, I mean, yeah, especially like Cyberpunk. So, I mean, everything was rushed and not enough content. I mean, because everybody thinks this game is going to be it's going to win like a big award or best review. And it turns out it's just like, oh my God, it's just like the worst game that I've ever played. And there's a lot of games through the years that have just been worse. But, who knows? I mean, I hope there's a new game for Call of Duty. Maybe World War III. I mean, I've heard that's in talks with, I think, Sledgehammer. But I don't know if that's the title. There may be a new Modern Warfare called Modern Warfare 2. But, I mean, I don't know.
So
Yeah.
this doing like X-Men did, and they're messing with the timeline.
Yeah, I think so.
2 alternate timelines. You got Modern Warfare, the original, and then you've got, which was actually Call of Duty 4, and then you've got Modern Warfare 2, and now they're redoing it, Modern Warfare 2. So it feels like they're like, okay, but what if the timeline was different, and then this is an alternate reality to the first reality?
Something like that. That would be, I don't know, because like, who does Black Ops? Like the
Call of Duty.
gaming company. Like they're more based on
Infinity Ward.
history. And then Modern Warfare is more of a modern take
Warfare?
of our warfare, like our military. And then
Modern Warfare.
That's why they call it Modern Warfare.
yeah.
Wait a second, David.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like,
then you have
but while you're
The
behind.
code.
you got like advanced warfare, infinite warfare, or like our future settings. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, like Black Ops 4, God, I hated it, man.
oh my
I
god,
hated
worst. It was like the
Like-
worst $60 I spent.
You know, I just that futuristic crap they had going on, I couldn't stand it.
Well, the campaigns for
camos
Advanced
were good.
Warfare and Infinite Warfare, those were pretty cool.
No, it weren't.
The multiplayer
Yeah, but like
The
campaigns
multiplayer
are
was
always
oh my
pretty cool,
God.
but like multiplayer,
pass.
no.
I didn't like the jetpack. Being
Yeah.
able to like
jump
strafe
and
over
straight
people.
and
It's so
run
annoying.
against walls. No.
Yeah, that was the most annoying part about
And-
Advanced
and, like,
Warfare. It's just
I hate it
boosting
because
up.
like I like playing Warzone and Modern Warfare, but it's so freaking frustrating because the physics of the game are absolutely ridiculous. Because like we go play campaign mode, not campaign multiplayer, team deathmatch, or hardcore team deathmatch, and we're killing. You can shoot somebody 1 or 2 times and they're dead. No, not Warzone. Like it takes a clip. And that's
Here's the other thing with the physics, like in Warzone, you can open your parachute in a second.
in multiple times. Yeah.
In real life, if you try to open your parachute under 100 feet, you're just a pancake.
Mhm.
Fully deploy in that amount of space.
Yeah. So it's a fun game to play because like if you've played Fortnite, you've played Warzone in a sense, and Fortnite it's pretty fun. It's a battle royale, last man standing wins. Everybody wants to win. I've never won because I can't get over the physics of it. And you've got these guys who have some, especially with the crossplay. You're playing with guys who are playing on computers and they know how to hack. They know how to, download these aim bots and it's just ridiculous, man. And you can't get over the hump. And I keep playing it, just hoping maybe one day I'll luck out. I almost have a couple times, but still. But so Ryan, I was sitting there thinking,
I got my first win in Rebirth Island with my brother and his friend.
See,
And,
now you can usually it is a lot easier to win with a team than it is by yourself. That's for sure.
Well, like Rebirth is a close quarter map. If anybody's played Black Ops 4, everybody knows about the island of Alcatraz, which is Rebirth Island. But it was named different in Black Ops 4. And when you did the blackout mode, it was called Alcatraz Island. So basically, it's close quarters. You could just, easy get like 10 kills, 20 kills, and then win the game. But being in a lobby of 45 people, the numbers start to go down quicker, and it's easier wins. But in
maybe
map of
they did
Verdun, it's so big with 150, 200 people, and then you got people with a flash or stun glitch, the stem glitch, hacking.
Yeah.
Then there's a glitch where you can drop the loadout crate on you and you turn invisible. And my brother encountered that the other night, and he got a picture of somebody inside the loadout crate killing him. So I mean, there's so many buggy things and too many people just camping, and I understand about it. It's a big map,
Well, I remember dropping a reward crate on David, and he disappeared too.
All right, guys. Go ahead and Ross, finish your statement.
I was thinking, Ryan, you mentioned maybe buying Call of Duty. You could if you wanted to, but like being a year behind, because a lot of if you play like Warzone, or no, not Warzone, but if you buy Battle Pass, you can't use any of those guns that you get in the Battle Pass anymore in multiplayer. So, and which kind of sucks because you were able to do that before Cold War came out. So I don't know if you would be worth it to buy it or not. Play it with us if you wanted to, but if you didn't, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. It's almost this point. I don't think it'd be worth it to buy Warzone or to buy.
See, he's not going to buy it for the game itself. He's going to buy it for the company of the fine individuals in this lobby right here.
Yeah.
That's what you're really getting out of it is the camaraderie, which is why I think most of us play it, or a good bit of the reason why most of us play it still.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people out there still playing the original Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
You can get you can get any of them these days, and
I got Advanced Warfare on disc, and I didn't, I was like, I'll jump into the lobby and see if people still play it. I mean, it took me like 2 or 3 times, and I finally found a lobby. I was like, oh my God, people still play this game?
Yep.
I'm like,
yep,
I mean,
they do.
It's
original Modern Warfare, Black Ops 1 and 2. I mean, they still play them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just you and 30 guys.
Here's maybe a topic. I'm gonna have to research this one. What is it? It's like the same game, Battleground or whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about?
PlayerUnknown Battleground.
PUBG?
No. Crap! I can't think of the name of it now.
H1Z1.
Shoot. It's just like Call of Duty, multiplayer anyway.
Battlefield?
Yeah, that's it. Battlefield.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never played it.
I mean, I hear a lot of people love that game.
There's a lot of people that do, but I've played it and I would take Call of Duty every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would too because I've always played Call of Duty. I've never played Battlefield before in my life, but
some of the stuff
makes
was
you
cool,
wonder
but it was
what is it that's so appealing about it to the people who like it.
Yeah.
I think it's the physics engine behind it.
All right, guys. We're going to stop there for this episode. Ryan, again, thank you for hosting. Thank you, Luke, David, Ross, for joining us. Ross, again, happy birthday. Hope you had a great day today.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Anyways, great topic as always. I'm going to leave y'all with this historic information. NFC Championship games since 1997. Appearances: Tom Brady 1, Dallas Cowboys 0. Years in NFC since 1997. Dallas Cowboys 24, Tom Brady 1. So, Tom Brady is already doing better than the Cowboys. Just like a couple years ago, the Alabama Crimson Tide had played 2 games in AT&T Stadium, won both those games because they play like the cotton or like a preseason game and like a BCS game. Them winning those 2 games was more than the Cowboys had won their entire season out of 8 in their own stadium. So just saw that on Sports Center. Thought it was pretty good to share with y'all. Anyways, everybody that's listening, appreciate the numbers going up each week, whether it's our little group that keeps listening to it or actually, I know we have a fan in Germany that listens to us. So got to give him a shout out.
Hey.
Our German friend.
Justin.
Yeah. And
welcome to the family.
And also he has a YouTube channel that he cooks and prepares meals. I've watched a couple of them. Pretty good. I've thought about actually preparing some meals. So I usually talk to him about that. But anyways, appreciate everybody chiming in. Again, if you guys have any topics you would like us to tackle and discuss, please send us an email, contact us. If you want to join, we can have you come in for a topic and debate with us. There's 5 of us and we all seem like we have the same opinion, so walk on eggshells is all I can say. All right.
Wait.
Oh Lord, what?
Does Kansas City bring back Patrick Mahomes? Or no?
Yeah, he signed an extension for like 20 years.
No.
Oh,
No.
what?
No idea.
Due to the concussion.
Well,
thing.
did he actually have a concussion? Because there was rumors that he just got choked out when the guy wrapped around his neck.
No. it was ruled concussion. So that's what I'm asking.
If he actually has a concussion
protocol,
yeah,
you don't bring him back until like if they win. If they win, then you bring him back to the Super Bowl.
Well,
right?
he's got to pass that protocol. So
yeah.
If they win next week without him, then he should be able to go by the Super Bowl anyways. So
because he will have one, then the bye week, and then Super Bowl. So he'll have 3 weeks to get over the concussion.
Yeah.
So, but like their defenses are about the same. They give up about the same points, same yards. It's just going to be Josh Allen show or the Patrick Mahomes show. It's pretty much.
Well, I just hope that Josh Allen can, kind of capitalize on this right now.
And I don't know which old timer in the other division I'm cheering for. So,
well, obviously I'm going to go for Aaron Rodgers, but if our defense does not go up to par, then obviously Tom Brady deserves to go to the Super Bowl.
No, he doesn't.
I know I do not want to see Tom Brady win his next championship ring. I don't. But if our defense does not stop him, and with the offensive weapons he has, I mean,
just take his walker away. How hard would it be to trip on his own then?
All right, before we sign off, here's another fact I saw the other night. So Aaron Rodgers has won a Super Bowl. So this will be the first time in 5 NFC conference championships that the Packers are playing the NFC championship in their home stadium. So the other 4 times, including their Super Bowl run, were all on the road. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I figured that when they won the Super Bowl, they were just that good, but I guess I was wrong. So anyways, again, thank you everybody for joining tonight. Love chatting with y'all, getting some feedback, and look forward to talking and listening to everybody's conversation next week.